I mean, you do have to find it pretty funny that Dana White and Donald Trump, in the lead up to this event, were saying we were going to have like 7 to 8 title fights. Trump was like, it's going to be 7 to 8 title fights. They're all going to be Americans. I know they don't have all belts, but we're going to give them all the belts. It's going to be great. 7 to 8 title fights. You can't prove me wrong. Next thing you know, we have an interim belt with a serial cheater who doesn't even deserve to fucking be here. And then a Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria. Justin Gaethje might be like the 3rd best lightweight in the world. He's not even the next best after fucking Ilia. Either way, though, I can't believe we are finally here. It's been months and months of build up when this idea was first thrown out there. I don't think anybody actually thought it was going to happen. It sounded like another, dumb Dana White and Donald Trump idea that probably wouldn't pan out. It actually is going to happen. I'm really excited. Obviously, could the card be a little bit more better and stacked? And are some of the matchups the most like 50-50? No, but there are going to be a lot of great fights on this one. And we're going to start this off by talking about Steve Garcia and Diego Lopes, which I made a whole video yesterday or 2 days ago breaking down this whole fight, so I don't want to like talk super long about this one. If you want to hear my full breakdown for that fight, you can go click on it. It'll be somewhere linked in the fucking channel or something. But either way, I have dubbed this fight of the year. I am so convinced this is going to be an absolute banger, a bar fight, a brawl between two of the, I wouldn't call them technical strikers by any means, but guys who are trying to take your head off in the octagon. And again, I don't want to go super into detail on all the nuts and bolts in this one, but I really can't think of a better way to open up the card than having Brazilian, Mexican Diego Lopes, wherever the fuck he is, facing off against Charlie Kirk's best friend in Steve Garcia. Both ultimate blockheads. Diego Lopes is going to come out the Lechona. Donald Trump's going to be really confused. But La Chona, more like no Chona. I thought we got rid of all of these Garcias and Lopez's. Isn't that right, Cash? ICE is not doing their job. Let me tell you something. He's going to bring back all the Latinos and the Brazilians and whoever he kicked out because of how good this fight's going to be. It really is that special of a fight. And Steve Garcia, I think, is a little bit lesser known, mainly because he has like 20 fans. He used to have 21 and then Charlie got whacked. Now all his rest of his fans are like ultra conservatives, dudes on TikTok. I'm one of his fans. And then the other like 15 are dudes who live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But both these guys are elite level finishers. Diego Lopes obviously kind of has that jiu-jitsu, really elite jiu-jitsu in the back of his, bag of tricks, but he doesn't really have ways to get there. Like, he doesn't really have offensive wrestling, even though he has been working on it at Oklahoma State. He has an insane chin, has insane power. Steve Garcia, another guy who has insane power. Chin a little bit more suspect, in my opinion. Like, he's only gotten finished once in the UFC, but he's gotten wobbled by past guys. Diego Lopes is probably more proven at the top level, though. I mean, he's beat Dan Ige, the John Silvas, Pat Sabatini, man. People forget that guy's a fucking terrorist. Brian Ortega, he fought Volk twice. I think it goes without saying he got his ass kicked by Volk. If he wins this, fucking do the trilogy. Also fought Movsar in his debut. Steve Garcia, kind of one reason why I'm not picking him to win this fight is because mainly he hasn't fought like the same level of elite competition. Is a southpaw who's got this freaky long build, like looks a little Tony Ferguson-y. Will fight behind his jab pretty well, has pretty nice straight punches, but he's largely unproven again at the top level. His best wins are like the corpse of Calvin Kattar, who wasn't the same after the Holloway fight. Ran through David Obama. My name's David Obama, and I'm absolutely fucking shit. That's like a David Onama impression. And he also destroyed Melchizedek Costa, murdered him. That aged kind of well for him. Both guys are really not good defensively. They're completely there to be hit. Diego Lopes struggles entirely with lateral movement. If you hit this guy with lateral movement, he has no clue what the fuck he's doing. He just looks lost out there like a dementia patient escaping the fucking hospital. He has no clue where he is. If Diego Lopes wants to win this, like guarantee himself a win, he's going to have to mix in the grappling, in my opinion. That would make this very easy for him. I know Steve Garcia has pretty good takedown defense, but I haven't really seen it a lot in the UFC. Like, I think he has pretty good scramble ability, was taken down a couple times against Melchizedek Costa, but when he can reverse position on you, he just bombs fucking elbows, and he is really elite level ground and pound. But Diego Lopes, if he's trying to get takedowns, normally it'll be like body lock, or when he drops you, he'll jump on you. I mean, people forget, man, he had the back of Brian Ortega at one point, but most dudes have been able to survive on the ground with him, like Volk, Ortega, Silva, Dan Ige. I mean, Diego Lopes all had most of those guys in bad spots, and they were all able to survive. I'm going to take Diego Lopes in this one by like round 2 or round DTKO. I think both guys will definitely have moments against each other, but The main reason why you have to pick Diego Lopes is because if you're going to be in a bar fight with this guy, if you're going to be in a brawl where you're trading big meaty hooks and uppercuts and all just kind of wild shit, you got to take Diego Lopes. He has the granite chin. You know, he's going to kill you in the octagon. He's trying to take your head off. He'd force John Silva into a bar fight. And John Silva, I honestly think, would beat Diego Lopes in a rematch based on just how he normally fights, a little bit more patient. But he accepted a bar fight with Diego Lopes and got fucking killed. He looked like an impulse grenade after the fight. I could see just, you know, Steve Garcia being a southpaw as that kind of a reason to kind of give Diego Lopes some trouble, because I think Diego has struggled a little bit with southpaws. And once Diego Lopes scratches for his neck and he lets off that neck tick, that's going to activate a sleeper cell in Steve Garcia, and he could just slide Diego Lopes out for Charlie Kirk. He also might have sacrificed Charlie Kirk in order to win this fight. We don't really know. I'm interested to kind of see what Steve Garcia looks like at the White House with kind of all this aura around him and being the American in this fight. And if Diego Lopes wins, give him the trilogy against Volk. Clearly we didn't see Diego lose badly enough, so we need to see it happen a third time. And if Steve Garcia wins, this guy's going to be in the title picture. Maybe he gets like 100 new fans. I'll be happy for Steve Garcia if he wins. I've been a fan of this guy for a while. I'm just a bigger fan of Diego. Either way, this is a great fight to start the card off, and I'm really excited for this one. You're going to get the big hook merchant, power, granite chin Diego Lopes going up against this sniper southpaw who, it doesn't even look like he hits you that hard, but he'll just touch you and you fucking die. He really is that insane. I mean, he's gone on like a 7-fight win streak, 6 TKOs. Obviously, he's very good. I just think Diego Lopes is a little bit more proven at this point in his career. Let's move on to Bot Nickal versus Kyle Daukaus. Now, Bo Nickal versus Kyle Daukaus, I have dubbed this the Battle of Philly, the Wawa Bowl, the Wawa's Bowl, the Pride of Delco in Kyle Daukaus, the Bam Margera Bowl. We're gonna light some fireworks and fucking blow them off in Vito's room. We're gonna make a big boom. That's my shitty Delco accent. I'm trying to work on my Delconian accent. I can't perfect it. It is one of the most hideous accents in the entire country, but it is absolutely beautiful with how bad it is. And hey man, if Bo Nickal wins this, Chael Sonnen thinks that he should go for a title shot. I really think that. If Bo Nickal wins this, that's a nasty win for him. If he beats Kyle Daukaus, the guy's a marauder, man. But I don't really know why this fight is fucking happening. This makes no sense. Both guys are and I like Kyle Daukaus. I want him to win. I'm a fan of the Darce Knight. He has looked vastly improved in his second stint in the UFC. Obviously, he has pretty solid jiu-jitsu, but his wins are over the corpse of GM3 and Michel Pereira. I know Bo Nickal's wins aren't really that much better, but I think he's just the safer pick in this one. Like, I get his resume is also shit. He beat Paul Craig by decision, washed Paul Craig. Rodolfo Vieira, he just fucking fluked up a head kick and sent Rodolfo Vieira to the Shadow Realm. And also beat Cody Brunage. That's an elite level win, in my opinion, to beat the Apex Warrior in Cody Brunage. But he's a good athlete. I think people won't really give him credit for, he does have power in his hands, and he wrestles in on double legs. You know, kind of his wrestling at the MMA level maybe hasn't been as successful as you've wanted to be, but he still can do it. Will throw head kicks, body kicks on the outside. Probably also is better range than Kyle Daukaus, has a better jab. And also, one thing, if you want to give Bo Nickal his props here, he has really nice transitions and really fast ones on the ground, and also can use his guillotine to deter your grappling. Now, Daukaus, again, has vastly improved on the feet in his second stint in the UFC. Kind of fucking sucked in his first stint in the UFC. He was getting pieced up by Roman Dolidze, and he's also a southpaw, so the southpaw versus southpaw battle will be kind of fun in this one, and he's gotten a lot better fighting in the pocket, can, you know, shoot in on single legs and doubles, but isn't really a great wrestler. Mostly is trying to, you know, drop you or get you down to the ground and do ground and pound to find the Darce. That's why he has the nickname Darce fucking Knight. Can also out-scramble Bo Nickal, like an RDR, but I don't think he's an insane athlete by any means, so I don't really know if that will happen in this one. I don't really like how he reacts to taking big damage and getting hit, and I don't think his chin is as good as a Bo Nickal. Like, Bo Nickal, we haven't really seen his actual chin test, so we know he's weak to the body. RDR had him crying over like a little bitch, but I think Bo Nickal's just a safer pick here, you know, has really nice transitions. I mean, had the really nice back take on Rodolfo Vieira, who's a very, you know, accomplished Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. If Kyle can shut down the grappling early of Bo Nickal, I could just see him catching him and winning this by knockout. I'll probably be putting money on Kyle Daukaus because I think it's like ridiculous. He's like plus 265. Bo Nickal is not that good. Could see Kyle Daukaus getting rocked. This is how I think the fight goes. Kyle Daukaus is getting rocked in like the second or third round, and he shoots a bad takedown, and then Bo Nickal like locks in a sub for a guillotine. If Bo Nickal gets a finish, like it's that way. And I'll tell you one thing. This is how the fight's gonna end. Bo Nickal is gonna get on the mic and he's gonna be crying for the troops. He'll be like, you guys are the real freaking warriors, not me. I'm not a real freaking warrior. You guys are the real freaking warriors and heroes. He's gonna go up there. God bless this freaking country, man. He's gonna go up there and say that I want to see Bo Nickal crying on the mic after he wins this one. If Kyle Daukaus wins, it'll also be sick. He's a cool fighter. Let's go on to Ruffy versus Michael Chandler. Now, Ruffy versus Chandler. Wish.com McGregor versus Iron Mike. What a fight. That's what I'll say. Also, you can see here, I put fucking ants on Michael Chandler's body just because he's been training with bugs. He's been running around doing these dumbass exercises, training for this fight. That's the beauty of Michael Chandler, though, because it's been a great run. I've always liked watching Michael Chandler. He is shit at fighting, but he is super entertaining. Everything from the build-up to the actual fights themselves. He's going to either finish you or he'll get finished in the funniest way. He's a CrossFit trainer by day and a UFC fighter by night, because in the build-up to all these fights and all these camps, he'll keep getting these insane matchups where he has no chance of winning, but he'll get in super good shape doing like the most ridiculous exercises you've ever seen that have nothing to do with mixed martial arts, like I alluded to recently. Running laps with bugs covered in him because there's going to be bugs at the White House. So I'm sure there's some correlation there that'll actually make Michael Chandler fight better. And maybe he should just train fucking mixed martial arts. But I do think Michael Chandler is going to survive around here. A lot of people taking Ruffy by first round knockout. I think we're going to get to the second round here. I think he's going to have success early with pressure and maybe landing some big punches in there. Ruffy's kind of very comfortable fighting off his back foot and kind of just always fights with his back to the cage, and I could just see him kind of taking a round to kind of get started on Iron Mike. Ruffy, I expect to be fairly low volume. We'll use his jab and his calf kicks to kind of get into a rhythm, and then once he's in a rhythm, you're kind of fucked. We kind of saw him work that plan against Fiziev, where Fiziev doing a really nice job cutting off Ruffy, forcing his back to the cage, chewing up with calf kicks, but Ruffy was just patient, working the jab, working kicks, and eventually he's going to get in that flow state. He could time up a spinning back kick on you. Mostly he's looking for that check left hook or that like big lunging right to put you out. Also has a really great vision and reaction time. This guy will just snipe fucking dudes out, and also can use his knees when you enter on him in the inside. Now, Michael Chandler is a wrestler with a big overhand, but doesn't really wrestle at all. Like when this guy's supposed to wrestle, he strikes. When he strikes, he's supposed to wrestle. He's just one of the dumbest people you will ever meet. And his like kind of game now in the UFC is he wants to get into the pocket with you and just spam hooks and overhands will like occasionally blast double legs. I think people who are picking Michael Chandler are some of the dumbest people you ever see. They'll point to the BSD fight, but like BSD has actual weapons you got to worry about on the feet. Like he was able to get Ruffy down due to French aura because he was in Paris, and also the threat of the head kick, among other things. And he also needed to like chain his takedowns together to get Ruffy down, had to work him to the fence to get that body lock and drag him down. And even like Ruffy, I thought looked okay on the ground, was able to reverse position a few times on BSD. Could Michael Chandler wrestle and like sit on top of Ruffy for, a round? Maybe, and maybe he wins this fight by decision, but I think that would require Michael Chandler to have 5 brain cells, and the sad thing is Michael Chandler only has 3. And I guarantee there's a world where maybe he does have success with the grappling early, and then he just randomly decides in like the end of round 2 or round 3 to stop grappling and is just standing there flexing, moving around like a grunt from Halo. His footwork's terrible. And then Ruffy would just snipe him out with like an uppercut or a knee. I'm going to go Ruffy right round 2 finish. Michael Chandler will put down the gloves. He'll be crying. I will actually miss Michael Chandler because I know everybody likes to clown him for the McGregor shit and also saying he beat Charles Oliveira 9 out of 10 times despite already losing to him twice, and also building up this whole plan that he was going to beat Islam, Max Holloway, Charles, and Justin Gaethje all in a year. I know that. Michael Chandler's an idiot, but he always delivered on being entertaining, whether he was out cold or he beat somebody rarely that wasn't washed, which never really happened. I think his only wins were Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson. Dan Hooker win was decent, but that's just the game you play with Iron Mike. I will miss him. If this is the last fight I have to break down for Michael Chandler, I will be sad deep down. I want him to get one more. I want to see an Iron Mike win, but it's not going to happen against Ruffy. Mauricio Ruffy, round 1 knockout by like uppercut, knee, something brutal. Michael Chandler will look like he got sniped after this one, and all his kids will be crying, and it'll be pretty terrible. Let's move on to Josh Hokit versus Derrick Lewis. Now, I just titled this one Fat Dudes because that's what these guys are. They are just fat. That's a little bit disrespectful to Josh Hokit, but he is a little bit pudgy. And man, I do wonder who is going to win this one. Imagine Derrick Lewis fucking flukes this one up. It would be funny to watch Derrick Lewis chuck his cup and his pants into the crowd, and then one of his like pants or cup lands on Pete Hegseth, and the other just lands on Cash Patel. And Donald Trump's like, that was Derrick Lewis. He's such a funny black guy. I love Derrick Lewis. He's so funny. I love this guy. But Josh Hokit's going to run through him. He's a wrestler, fast hands, very athletic. He's just going to sprint at Derrick Lewis, sling overhands and hooks, and knock this guy out. It is funny, though. Josh Hokit can do work in the clinch. He just never does it. And maybe he shoots in on a double leg and submits Derrick Lewis. Wouldn't shock me if he did that either. The funny thing watching back Josh Hokit fights is, like, it looks like he gasses at certain points, and then he just randomly, like, locks in. Sometimes I feel like it's part of, like, his character. Like, Blades looked like he had him rocked multiple times, and then Hokit would just be insanely back and fucking rock Curtis Blades. Lewis, there's not enough to say. I've never really I like Derrick Lewis as the person, and he is funny to watch, but this guy is just a overhand merchant, knocks out fat Brazilian taxi cab drivers for the most part, like whatever, Nascimento, De Lima, Taliesin Teixeira, dudes who suck, and he quits the jabs now. He needs an overhand in the first minute to have any chance of winning this one. Has terrible, isn't good defensively. Hokit also kind of bad striking defensively wise, so maybe there's a chance there. Hokit round 1 TKO is my prediction here. Also, if Derrick Lewis gets taken down, there was a point in time where he had like that fat man jiu-jitsu, or like just get up jiu-jitsu, where he would just stand up. It used to work for him. He can't even do that anymore. Josh Hokit would just submit him on the ground if he gets him there. So I think Josh Hokit's going to win by round 1 TKO. He did say he's not dumb enough to let Derrick Lewis kind of knock him out. So whatever. Let's move on to Sean O'Malley versus Amin Zahabi. Sean O'Malley versus Amin Zahabi. This is a meaningless fight. Now, it is going to be an interesting battle here. We got Guru in the corner of O'Malley versus GSP in the corner of Amin Zahabi. So two of the brightest MMA minds going to be, cooking up game plans for this one. And I think Sean O'Malley's going to win this one. Amin Zahabi, everybody hates on him. He does seem like a nice guy, and I don't think he's fun to watch whatsoever, but his style has gotten him this far in the UFC to the point where he's fighting Sean O'Malley at the White House. And if he somehow wins this, it would be the craziest fucking thing ever. He's so goofy. His weird cardio kickboxing mom plotting style just kind of works for him, but he can't get finishes whatsoever. He has no real weapons, and I just think this fight is going to be him getting pieced apart and countered every single time he's going forward, and Zahabi just kind of struggling to land anything. I mean, Sean O'Malley's a sniper, has really great lateral movement, pops the jab well, has really nice counters and lunging straight punches, can use the knees up the middle on shorter guys, also has solid takedown defense. I think that's kind of been, Sean O'Malley's gotten shit on for his takedown defense, mainly just because of Murad. That's kind of skewed all the numbers. Zahabi, the one thing I'll give him, he is kind of hard to hit, and he's super fucking tough. He has this weird defensive strange guard where he is a very smart fighter and can use his jab well to get into longer combos. But the lack of finishing ability, like if you're picking Zahabi to win this for some fucking reason, like how does he win this? Smudging O'Malley up against the fence for like 2 rounds? I don't even think that would work because O'Malley's good against the fence defensively, defending takedowns. He needs to be perfect to win this fight, and he's not. He has no weapons at range. He needs to be on the front foot the whole fight. Can't really wrestle. Like if I'm Zahabi, I'm mixing in the takedown game to see if you could steal a round, and then maybe there's a round where you clip Sean O'Malley, but it's not going to happen. I just think he's going to run into O'Malley's punches way too often, loses this one. I think people forget, man, just how good Sean O'Malley is on the feet. Like even Peter Yan was struggling at times with how good O'Malley is. He's really good. If you can't mix it up enough, you're fucked. Zahabi will try and mix in the grappling. I don't really think it's going to be enough. I could see Sean O'Malley winning 30-27 decision. In my opinion, he's getting a late finish. Somebody's finally cracking this fucking chin of Amin Zahabi. O'Malley will be mixing up too much, beating him up badly throughout the fight, landing big front kicks, combos, sticking him with big shots, and eventually getting the finish. Again, I could see Zahabi last in this one, mainly just because he is so durable. I think Sean O'Malley's going to win this one by round 3 TKO. Let's get on to the co-main event, the Terrorist versus Alex Pereira. As you can see here, I've put Alex Pereira next to a Chad, because anybody rooting for Alex Pereira is a fucking Chad, and anybody rooting for Ciryl Gane is the essential equivalent of Bin Laden. This guy is a fucking terrorist. I hate Ciryl Gane. I don't really want to go too much on like a Ciryl Gane rant, because I've already done that multiple times on this channel. So let's just get into the breakdown of this one. I think it is a slightly tricky matchup for Alex Pereira, because it's the biggest guy he's fought. He's not proven yet at heavyweight. Ciryl Gane is a good athlete for the most part, but nonetheless, he's a cheater who can win robbery decisions. I'm still going to take Pereira in this one. You know, I fucking hate Ciryl Gane. Gane will be is a great point fighter, will fight well on the outside with kicks, uses his jab well to move in the octagon. Not really a great boxer by any means, but has a nice straight left. Again, kicks on the outside a lot. Can grapple and mix in double legs, but is such an idiot on the ground and has low level IQ that I think Alex Pereira would just survive with him on the ground. Like, he got a heel hook in his second or third fight in the UFC, and now he tries to get that anytime the fight gets to the ground. Tried it against Francis Ngannou and then ended up getting smudged and losing to an Ngannou with one knee. Can also time up counters pretty well, but he has pillow hands, so you won't get finishes that way. He's very calf kick susceptible and also needs 1,000 fouls to beat you in a fight. Pereira, it goes without saying, scary, powerful kickboxer, can get in your face, beautiful calf kicks, jabs on the outside. Once he opens up, he'll just start landing whatever he wants on you, crazy hooks, head kicks. Used to kind of be a guy who would get a ton of finishes by the lead left hook, but now has kind of used that overhand more to get finishes, a la Ankalaev. Will use his jab well to set up that lead hook. Ken used to kind of struggle against southpaws, but then we just watched him run through Ankalaev. You can land, like, if you're fast and athletic enough, you can land straight punches on them like a Yuri did, like an Izzy did. I don't really know if Gane can do that, because I think there is a little bit of a illusion with Ciryl Gane at heavyweight where everybody talks about, oh, how well he moves and how good of an athlete he is. I think he is a good athlete for heavyweight standards, but him floating around on the outside and guys like Tai Tuivasa, Rosenstrike, Sergey Spivak, how impressive is that really? I also say this for Alex Pereira. We don't really know what he's going to look like at heavyweight. Like, the power will translate. If anything, he'll be more powerful. But the speed, maybe not, probably not. So I expect him to be kind of similar levels, I guess, speed-wise. Maybe Ciryl Gane looks a little bit faster. I expect Gane to kind of fight similarly to the Aspinall fight, where he's staying on the outside in southpaw, moving around, working the jab, hitting calf kicks. And Izzy's jab forced Alex Pereira to fight a lot more aggressively. I could see Ciryl Gane working that jab. Also, I could see Ciryl Gane working that jab really well to kind of get Pereira more on the front foot, and maybe Gane starts landing some bigger punches. Gane needs like 2 to 3 perfect rounds to slow down Alex Pereira, in my opinion. And I could see him taking that first round just because he has more experience at heavyweight. But for anybody saying Ciryl Gane is going to kind of mix in this wrestling and he can kind of just out-wrestle Alex Pereira has good takedown defense and has a massive power advantage. He just needs one moment to win the fight. Ciryl Gane is not going to finish Alex Pereira. He has no power whatsoever. He hasn't had a legitimate win in the UFC in 3 years. Sergey Spivak was his last fucking win. And look, watch that fight back. Look at the finishing sequence there. Back of the headshot, back of the headshot, back of the headshot. Guy's a fucking scumbag. Think about it. After that, it was the Volkov robbery, and then we all know what happened in the Aspinall fight. Gane is going to circle a lot in this fight. Will circle to his right a lot in general, and Pereira will get closer and closer with that hook. Gane rotated into strikes similarly against Alexander Volkov. I figure that Alex Pereira will just be able to land a variety of more strikes than Gane. He's a lot sharper with his kicks. The kicks are going to be the big advantage for him in this. And he'll give Gane fits like Volkov did when they were on the feet. I swear to God, if fucking Ciryl Gane wins, shut down the division. Because there is a part of me that's like, Ciryl Gane could win this fight. Where it's like, finally, after 8 undeserved title shots, Ciryl Gane finally breaks through and he beats a guy who is one of the most feared and scary fighters in the UFC. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Alex Pereira is going to get like a round 3 or round 4 TKO. Hopefully a knockout that leaves Ciryl Gane unconscious and I never have to see this guy back in the octagon again. Let's move on to the main event. Ilia versus Justin Gaethje. If you're picking Justin Gaethje, is it by Jewish Space Laser? Because I have no clue how the fuck he is going to win this fight. I've tried. I want to give Justin Gaethje the benefit of the doubt. Like, people saying fluke a fucking head kick. He doesn't really even throw that many head kicks anymore. It happened one time against Poirier. And everybody's like, oh, he could do that to Ilia, man. Ilia's weakness is the head kicks. All right, whatever. Blasting calf kicks would be what I think he's going to do. And working the jab. He does have a good jab that I feel like he just doesn't use enough. I don't think the fight will even last long enough for calf kicks to matter. You know what I mean? Ilia has better leg kicks than Gaethje does. And I do think if I'm Justin Gaethje, I'm trying to get in the clinch and use my dirty boxing to try and at least extend the fight. Because I do think Justin Gaethje is probably a better dirty boxer than Ilia. But Ilia is so good to the body and working in close. I don't even know if that works. Ilia is the most well-rounded fighter. Insane boxing, insane left hook. Big right overhand, will finish everybody that way. Uses a jab to set up things so well. And just so great with his combinations. Can stay so safe on the outside. Can use throws and double legs. And has sub ability. And has really nice ground and pound. You just never really see it. Gaethje is going to brawl. Throw hard calf kicks. Will work the jab well when he wants to. Has nice dirty boxing with a beautiful uppercut. The thing is, like, you talk about that uppercut, the dirty boxing. It's like, he hasn't finished anybody with his hands in years. He knocked down Fiziev and Patty. I don't remember his last knockout with his hands. Was it Barbosa? Like, has it been that long? Also doesn't defend to the body very well. Will duck his head in bad ways to defend his body and is just open uppercuts. Like, Paddy Pimblett had those wild uppercuts where he just telegraphs him so badly, but Justin Gaethje still got hit with them. Will also overswing a lot. I mean, watch any Justin Gaethje fight. This guy's slipping and sliding, throwing big right hands and just misses, and I could see Ilia countering him really badly there. Gaethje doesn't time anything up. He's not sharp enough of a striker. Just throws super hard on the outside. I just can't see him catching Ilia. Again, leg kicks are probably his best bet, but Ilia counters leg kicks so well with the jab. Gaethje's not going to out-wrestle him, can't out-grapple him. And and even when Justin Gaethje uses his jab, Ilia will just chop calf kicks like he did to Max Holloway. Listen, anything can happen. It is an MMA fight. It is in the UFC. Literally, we've seen upset after upset. I just think Ilia Topuria is the best to ever do it. Justin Gaethje has no real chance. And people want to bring up the Strickland fight. Even in my breakdown for Sean Strickland, even if I thought he was going to lose and eventually get finished, which was a terrible pick by me, at least coming into it, everybody was like, Sean Strickland, at the very least, is probably the best middleweight outside of Hamza Chimaev, and he has the best chance to beat him. He had all the tools, whether it was the insane takedown defense, his ability to get back up, great scramble ability, hard to hit on the feet, nice jab, and mixing in the front kicks. He had the tools to beat Hamza Chimaev. Justin Gaethje has none of those fucking tools. He has no tools whatsoever. He needs Yahoo to win this for him. He needs the Jewish space laser. He has no chance. There is no chance in fucking hell Justin Gaethje manages to beat Ilia Topuria. I would love to see him win just because of how funny it would be. But brother, it's not going to happen. Justin, he going to go to sleep in 2 rounds, brother. It's going to be sad. And he'll retire after. His whole family's going to have to watch him go out unconscious. It's whatever. Justin Gaethje this whole week, I haven't really liked how he's just been talking in general about Ilia. It's whatever. I'm not really an Ilia guy either, but I do think he is the best to ever do it. Either way, if you're new here, remember to like, comment, subscribe. We'll do a recap video. Maybe we do a video tomorrow. Who knows? It depends how long it takes for this fucking video to get out and edited. If you're new here, again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go follow me on Instagram, TikTok. And thanks for 124 subscribers. The doctor is signing off.